This is PHOKANE, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. We are continuing with the same topic that speaks about growth indicators towards Christian maturity. Growth indicators towards Christian maturity. And today I want us to look at what we call time stewardship. Time stewardship as a growth indicator, very, very important indicator that is going to help you as an individual to understand that you need to have what we call time stewardship, which is very, very important. Now, when you talk about time stewardship, you're talking about how you use your time and how you use your time. If you use your time well, then you can actually tell yourself you are a good time steward. Now, how do you know that you're using your time well? Is actually to put up programs, plans, and objectives, and therefore embark on those with time allocated to them. And that is whereby you actually channel your time to things that are helpful and useful, things that are progressive in your life, and that we call time stewardship. That's ability to manage your time well and ability to make sure that your time is well managed in a way that you are actually going to use it more fruitfully. Now, time stewardship is very important, and I know many people may not understand the importance of time. Time is money. Time is very important. Time is very key because you cannot actually recover time when you've lost it. And that's very important. And somebody would say that time is like a river. You cannot touch it at the same place at any given time because it moves and it goes forward. And if you don't carefully take care of it and use it appropriately, you're going to find yourself having gone deeper into a great loss because you are actually not managing your time well. So time is very, very important. Now, you must ask yourself, am I using my time well? So if you are to be a time steward, look at both working hard and as well as investing in the fellowship with God or a time of worship or a time of your relationship with God as well. So it's more about life is about a fellowship with God, in your relationship with God. So whatever you invest in fellowship with God is a time well spent. But on the other hand, we must also agree that in life, you need to be working on a time management whereby you are able to fend yourself in the sense of supporting yourself financially, but also to make sure that whatever you do is fruitful actually for the well-keeping of yourself and the people that are around you or the loved ones, which is very, very important. So time spent then in hard work is very important. The time spent then in fellowship with God is very important. But it must be something that you carefully look at it, plan, and as you plan, then you are actually driving things based on the plan that you have, which is very, very important. So time can only be seen as fruitfully spent when there's a program of action that is at hand, when there is something that you are working towards, when there is something that you are delivering to, and it becomes very important that you actually measure your time based on how much you've spent on those fruitful things. Now, worshiping God is very, very important. But also, I want to emphasize the fact that sometimes we forget that in the mix of things, while we're working hard, while we're fellowshipping with God, there's what we call rest. Because remember, your body is the only instrument that God gave you to serve Him with. And therefore, it is very important, therefore, that you spend time of rest as well to recharge the batteries, to make sure that you get your energy back, to make sure that you actually reviving or revitalizing your body as well, to be able to be useful. And this is very important. And I'm emphasizing this because it is very key as an individual for you to understand that time spent in rest is not a wasted time. Because it is very important to rest as an individual, because that will help you to recharge your batteries, as I said, for you to be able to invest your time back into fellowshipping with God, back into hard work in this life. Very, very important that we emphasize that time spent in rest is very key. And that is why we would actually, as leader of Church Governance Solutions, who will emphasize as well that getting out as well is very important. Taking time for holidays, taking time for resting outside an environment that you used to. and take time to go for holidays, and that's very key. And as a minister in the work of God, it is very important actually to take a break in your life as well. That is very, very key, and we cannot emphasize that enough. Now, the other growth aspect or growth indicator towards your Christian maturity that I want to embark on today is connecting with the community, connecting with accountability and care of people. Now, when we talk about connection, we're talking about ability to connect with the community. We're speaking about ability to have accountability as well in your life, and while at the same time, you are able to take care of people. Now, this cannot be overemphasized as well, because this is very key, that we understand that as a Christian, if you claim to be maturing, people become of a great essence, because your interaction with people actually determine whether you are maturing, you are getting better or not, because it is going to be determined by how then do you deal with people. Now, this we emphasize because it's very key for people to understand that you cannot claim to be maturing without actually being connecting with the communities that you are around. Because the communities that you are around are communities given to you by God, and therefore you are there to serve them. Taking care of those communities, therefore, becomes very crucial and of an essence or great importance as well, because this is how we're going to see that you're maturing and you're growing actually as an individual. Now, taking care of the people while you also being accountable in what you do, very, very important. But it's going to be very important that you ask yourself, are you involved in active small groups in the communities? Are you involved with people in the communities that you are imparting yourself to them, or the service of God to them? Very, very important. So this is very, very important that you mention, you look at having some small groups that you deal with, designed around prayer as well, whereby you are having some prayer meetings with some group of people, introducing them to your faith, introducing them to some structure of prayer, and that will actually instill discipline to many for people to mature into their devotion, as we mentioned earlier. This is very, very important. Now, there are some groups that you can actually formulate of Bible study, whereby you study the Bible together, discussing it, Bible discussions, where you can actually be able to teach each other the word, different from depending on the knowledge that people have, and therefore also sharing amongst each other the experiences in Christian life and in their Christian walk. That's very, very key. So embark on then connecting with people towards those. We're having what we call friendship groups as well, where you can actually embark on looking at the type of friends that you have. The people that you are hanging around with, are they the people that will empower you or disempower you as well? And that's very key that you look at that, because the people that you are around are going to influence the way you behave and the way you look at things as well. Very, very important. Accountability is very important at all times, that whatever you do, you must be accountable of. And people that are getting matured are able to be accountable in everything that they do. They cannot ignore things and just do things willy-nilly without being careful that whatever I do, I must be accountable of. Now, a sense of accountability is a sign of being matured as a Christian, or towards being matured. So therefore, it is a question that you must evidently ask yourself at any given time. Am I accountable enough? Am I having some involvement with the communities around me? Am I having a group that I'm imparting my knowledge to? Am I having some friendship groups that I'm actually empowering? Am I having some prayer meetings with people, or else also Bible studies that may be very, very important? Now, as an individual, look at those indicators and you realize that that will actually be a good sign of whether you're maturing or not as an individual. I want to end up here today, your host, PHOKANE. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. And I hope that you'll join us as we deal with this topic going forward. But don't forget our social media platforms. Our Facebook page is PHOKANE, Church Governance Solutions. Please like those. Click notification buttons. Don't forget also our YouTube channel as well, where you need to subscribe be able to click notification buttons there, and you will be notified when we posted material of this kind. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.